probably like episode 56 now, which is pretty cool, with none other than Will Whitman, who has had a massive impact on our lives over here in little old Lake Zurich, Illinois. He's a husband, he's a father of three, he's the founder of Homegrown Lifting. Will, so excited to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to pop on and talk to you in person.
Yeah. It's been we've been talking through text for so long. It's cool to see your face and hear your voice and really be here with you. We were talking about something right before this that's so near and dear to my heart. And when I started my business, I wrote this in my journal, and it's still something I remind myself every day is that I can both be successful in business and be entirely available for my family. But man, it's harder said than done. And I know that you're
Oh,
balancing
it's
business
incredible.
life too.
Yeah, yeah. It's incredibly rewarding, but very difficult. Having to leave home and leave the little kids, but also having to leave work at the end of the day and leave your work baby and leave everything you've built and go home and you know take care of your family as well. So physically, I think for me, it's the load is lifted a little bit at work. It's just the mental load of making sure your family's taken care of, making sure your business is taken care of, making sure your employees, who is like a second family's taken care of. It's a lot, but it's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that load is very real as a provider. I imagine you love your business and you really care about the people that you work for. So that's your work, baby. You want to take care of them, and there's a drive to share what you're doing with the world, and then also, well, then we get to go home to our real babies.
Hmm.
So what is
That's right.
balancing that like for you right now?
I'm very grateful for my wife. She helps me a lot with it because if it was up to me, it would. I don't know what I would do, but we set some very, they aren't hard stops, but she really reminds me to have some balance. So every day at 3:30, I come home, and I come home, regardless of if stuff's broken down, what's going on. We've brought in a lot of new guys in the past year or so that I am able to do that, and so that's a big thing for me now is set that hard stop. You stop, you take a shower at work, you come home, and then you kind of turn the phone off and do your whole home life. And if stuff at work breaks, it breaks, and you deal with it the next day. And that's just that. So I'm very grateful. Some days it's difficult to do, and I'm maybe not grateful in the moment, but I am very grateful overall for my wife Nicole for kind of implementing that and making sure that it doesn't stray from, oh, you're going to get home at 3:30, oh, it's 3:45, it's 4, it's 5. It's you know it's a hard stop at 3:30, and it works really well for us right now.
Hmm. Yeah, I will say that has been a really challenging thing to do here, and at the same time, so immensely impactful. Because I know
Hmm.
Jen is like waiting for me to get home. Like, one, she wants to see me, but two, Dad stepping in the door is that breath of fresh air. It's literally relief for her if she's been with the kids all day. I have that hard stop at 5, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to do it. So you've got this hard step at 3:30. Did she come up with that? Was that you? Like, how did you do that? I've experienced that as a really challenging thing to do, and I know a lot of guys listening as well struggle with that hard stop and getting home at the decided on time.
I wish there was some grand equation we came up with, but the truth of it is that back, I don't know, a year ago, we had two that were napping and a newborn, and the two that were napping, their naps kind of ended around 3:30, and so we just said, look, you're with them all morning. It's an incredibly difficult. It's the hardest job there is. So when those other two wake up, let's just make sure that I'm always there to come home and support you and support them. And if it's been a bad day, at least once they go down for a nap, you know that when they get up, you'll have some help. And so that's basically how we came up with it, just around the nap schedule. And then
Hmm.
we just molded everything else work wise, and things like that to it.
That's huge to recognize that she needed the support. You got the nap schedule. It seemed like
Mhm.
it was just a natural time, that 3:30 with the nap schedule. What did you have to change in order to do that? Because inside the home, it's a little easier, but when you're at work and you're pushing and you're grinding and you're making things happen, it's a little bit
Mhm.
harder to hit that stop switch. So what was that like for you?
It is very difficult for me. I'm very competitive. And that kind of manifests in my work, and when I'm there, I want, I put my heart and soul into it. So it it was difficult to implement, but we brought on some guys. We brought on Justin, who I think you've conversed with previously, who's kind of what I would call the business manager, and he's been amazing. Brought on some other guys, to do some of the things that I do, and overall, just have a great team of employees who I feel confident that when I leave, if I tell them to do something, they do it. If there's something broken, they can fix it. And you know, just we're very blessed to have all them. So the business runs. We run 3 shifts. It runs 24/7, and so it just kind of came out of necessity where I can't be there 24/7 regardless. So we just make it where when I leave at 3:30, we're very blessed to have some employees who can handle it once I do. And so that took years to implement, but now we have it rolling. It worked well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like you had to recognize that you needed help. Secondly, you had to
Hmm.
allocate responsibilities. You couldn't hold them all to yourself. And then third, you had to trust that
Yes.
one, you hired the right guys, and that two, that they're going to take care of it while you're not there.
Hmm. Yeah, and I have full trust in all of our guys, and you hear it on a lot of business podcasts of, oh, you got to learn to allocate, and you got to learn to trust people, and you got to learn to, and I mean, as cliche as it is, it was all very, very true for us and very true for our business. And it has really helped me both in business and in family life to find a balance and be able to not only physically leave work but mentally leave it at 3:30 so that I can go home and enjoy my day and enjoy our kids and enjoy time away.
Mm-hmm. And once you get home, what does that transition look like for you? And you mentioned your phone, but what is that transition from work to getting home and then walking into the house? What does that look like for you? It's a hard time for a lot of guys.
It's difficult. Again, I thank my wife. We built a new facility about 2 years ago, and she said, I fully support you. You can do whatever you want. You're putting a laundry room and a shower in your facility. Every day you're going to shower there because our work is pretty dirty. So every day you're going to shower there. Your work clothes are staying there. Everything's staying there. And at the time, it was more kind of out of cleanliness. She was tired of me walking home in dirty boots and putting rubbery clothes in the washer with our kids' stuff. But that's almost become my ritual of, okay, I take a shower, wash it all off. I'm clean. I get in my car. It just feels, it kind of just lets me, again, not to sound cliche, but just kind of wash work off and go home and really have a sharp transition. And there are days when I don't do that, and I go inside and I say, I got to go take my shower. I'm sorry, it was busy. I didn't have time to shower, and if I don't have it, then it just all sticks to me, and I'm thinking, oh, did I tell him to do this? Did I tell him to do that? I hope we get this order out in time. Blah 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 blah. So that has been my big. That's kind of my ritual that I stick to every day without fail. Is that shower, change, get in the car, come home, and then it's all smooth from there.
I love that. And it's an actual physical transition ritual, showering. That it's awesome that you have a shower at work. I'm in my garage. I don't have a shower here. It's inside the house, but that would violate the
Yeah.
transition for me to walk in there, shower, and come back. But changing your clothes is so important. And this is, it might sound cliche like wash the day off, but also you go back 2, 5, 10,000 years, purification, washing is a sacred ritual. And even if I'm very deep background with yoga, sausha, that cleanliness, one of the most important things for us to do is literally wash the day off. Like before we get
Mm-hmm.
from work to home, we're supposed to literally get in water and wash that off and put different clothes on. Because, like you said, then your mind is
Mm-hmm.
still thinking about the orders that you have going on and everything else that you've got going on in the manufacturing process. It sticks to you. And also from like a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual yoga
Yeah.
standpoint, you're stuck in the vibration, the wavelength of work. So we take that transition, you literally wash, you change your clothes, and then you go home and you're able to be completely with
Mm-hmm.
them. You literally cleansed yourself of the workday and changed your state. And
Mm-hmm.
I think last week or a couple of weeks
Yes.
ago, we talked with Mike Salemi. We talked about transitional rituals. This is another one to add in there. Just you get home, if you can't get in the shower, change your clothes, man. Change your clothes or
Yeah.
get a beard brush like I've got. Do a little dry skin brushing. That feels good. A little lymphatic massage.
Mhm.
It's awesome. So
Yeah.
beyond
I used to not do it, and oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
you used to not do it.
Oh, I was. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say I used to not do it, and it was just the big thing for me was like touching our kids with the work day still on. It feel now when I don't go home and don't have that shower, like it's hard to even pick up and touch our kids and play with them. So it if you can do it, I highly recommend it. And even if it means doing it at home, I get it's rare to have a shower at work, but just shower, change your clothes, and it just it's such a nice transition that if there's anybody who is finds that difficult, I would highly recommend it.
It is so massive. You said something that is so potent, which is touching my kids with work still on me. You're like getting that
Hmm.
on them, not just the physical stuff, but
Hmm.
the mental load of it, the emotional stress of it, everything else. You're literally infusing them with that energy, and that's not something I want to bring home to my kids. And if you can't
Yeah.
get in the
Oh,
shower,
because
you some of the go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say, yeah, they can tell. They can tell when it's still there. So yeah, kids are perceptive.
Your kids, your wife knows it as soon as you walk in the door.
Oh,
Things are not going to go well. If
hundred
you can't
percent.
shower, some of the things that you can do if we're going to bring in some hippy dippy woo woo yoga stuff is you can do we talked about slow breath work, but you can do what's called a Kapalabhati breath. I call it a steam engine. It's rapid through the nose, like a just for a minute, and then you could take a big
Hmm.
that's one of the classical ones when you learn sausha and the yogic path, they'll tell you to get in the shower and do your Kapalabhati breath in there and then put the water over you and cleanse all of that out. You can also give your body a shake or just imagine like I'm gonna wipe everything off of me. Like if you are listening, I'm wiping my body from my shoulders down to my hands, all the way down. You can do that down your chest, down your legs, all the way down to your feet. Give your body a little shake, like you got dog slobber on you, and you're like, "Get this off of me." If you can't get in the physical shower, really potent little cleansing ritual to take that and throw it off of your body. I often imagine a fire or a galactic garbage can that I just put all of that in there, and it goes like sparklers. There's a lot that you can do.
Huh.
So beyond the shower and the clothes, Will, what else do you do when you get home that helps you keep that boundary between work and home?
you know, like I've said, the phone is the thing, and I keep going back to her. My lovely wife. If it wasn't for her, I probably would have it be answering calls and things like that. You know, putting the phone. We even went so far as to buy a new phone line for the business. That phone stays at work, so that's our kind of our customer service. And I used to give my personal cell phone, 2 and 3 years ago, my personal cell phone was the business phone. And it got to where I was getting 5, 6, 7 calls. What happened is work at 5, they'd get home at 5:30, they'd have their package there. If anything else, they started to call and say thank you. Like 5:30, I just started getting call after call after call after call. So making that work phone, getting that other landline or that other phone line, and cutting off that way, and then just finding ways to kind of sit down and have fun with our kids. Summers are awesome. We always try to go outside and play. We're big on outdoors. In the winters, we just schedules sports and activities and to out and just kids and make memories and do fun stuff and just take off the stress of the day.
Mhm. Yeah, that play is one of the most important things, and if we're still carrying work, it's really challenging to do. And as a dad, that's really one of the things that our kids need from us more than anything is that play. Kids gain the most from mom through touch, through that snuggling, through that love, that nurturing. From dads, it's that physical interaction. It's that physical play, especially
Oh yeah.
roughhousing. If they get a
Oh,
oxytocin.
our daughter Maddie, our oldest, she about every other night, we'll be sitting there eating dinner because we eat dinner a little earlier, and she'll look over at me and kind of tap my shoulder and say, "Daddy, can we go do rough play?" Okay, after dinner. And right after dinner, we go over and I'll go lay on the floor. And man, she's come close to cracking ribs sometimes because she'll just come over and jump on me and wrestle with me. And then our second, Sophie, will come over and they'll beat me to death. But it's fun. But they're getting big enough now where they can almost hurt me. But yeah, the rough play, embracing that is fun for me. My wife doesn't appreciate it as much because then they try to do it with her, and they're big girls, so she always makes them wait for me to get home. But I love that. That is probably one of my favorite parts today.
Hmm. Yeah, it's dad's thing, and my son, he's 5 now. He can get a little crazy. He can get a little rough. He can
Mhm.
put a hit on me in the face if he wants to, but he knows if you give me something that you shouldn't have, you do have to take it back. You gotta be able to stand and take it. So don't give dad stuff that you don't want, or your sister, because she's gonna give it back to you.
Mhm.
And I think it was
Oh
Rafe
yeah.
Kelly and Jordan Peterson talked about that. Is that rough and tumble play, that rough housing, is actually how they map boundaries in the world, how they actually map physical, mental, emotional boundaries with other people. Once you get hurt once playing too rough, then you're like, oh well, I understand what that feels like. You can all of a sudden empathize with other people, and well, you build better relationships with other people. It's such an important thing for us as dads. So, how many
Hmm.
kids do you have?
Oh, 100. Got three.
Three.
Three kids.
Amazing.
Maddie is Madison, I guess, is 4. Sophia is 3, and Charles just turned 1.
Such a good range.
So
Yeah, my little
very,
guys are
very
5,
blessed. Yeah.
2.5, 11 months, and we never really wanted kids at the beginning, and it was a gift of COVID. And
Mhm.
now I'm like, man, I had no idea what I was missing out on.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yeah. I think my wife was always, again, I keep going back to her, but she's always known she did. She was definitely, you know, the one who brought us into that. But now that we do, I couldn't imagine anything without it, and I'm very grateful for it.
What have you learned through becoming a father? It's the biggest thing you learned.
How impatient I am. just learning patience and learning, you know, when there's this little thing that you so much, but it just doesn't want to listen to. Just learning how to take a deep breath and understand that you got to be patient. Everything doesn't have to come right now. You know, the world doesn't have to be perfect, and just let it flow and work with it as best you can. You know, and just show yourself some grace through patience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even I would say even as somebody who was deep in yoga practice before I had kids, I was amazed at just how fragile I was, how
Hmm.
impatient I was, and I was like, "What? I'm supposed to have this together." And I didn't. I didn't at first.
Yeah, it's still a struggle for us. You know, just you think that you're patient. If you think you're patient, go try to get a 4-year old to put shoes on, and you'll learn that how impatient you are. And so that, I mean, that's the classic example. But you know, it has just taught me is still how to be patient and how to, you know, control the emotion, you know, control that impatience and control to help me, you know, in work and in everything else. Just learn that if it can happen right now the way you want it, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Take a deep breath and figure it out. You know, if a machine breaks and you try to fix it the first you didn't get it, don't throw your hands in the air and throw a tool across the room. Just take a deep breath, go get a drink of water, you know, go look at something that did work good and then come back to it and you'll probably, you know, it might take 3 or 4 times and fix it. So that has been a difficult thing to learn, but very, very rewarding and a very good thing that's come from having kids for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really comes down to control, that our 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 need to control everything, and our attachment to it going precisely the way
Mhm.
that we wanted to. And once I had kids, I realized that that wasn't how things were going to go most of the time. Wasn't
Yes.
how things were going to
Giving
go.
up control. Yeah. Giving up control. You know, my wife and I are both type A. Like, we like to control. We like to have a plan. We like to, you know, do all that. And it's difficult to give that up, but it's good. It's good to be able to do it. And so we've learned the hard way a lot of times, but we are learning to, you know, you can't always be in control, and sometimes you just have to give it up and through the hard little things, and you know, give your kids and yourself some grace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a difference between control and influence. And I think that when we become fathers, we have to learn the art of influence and to surrender control. I can influence them in particular directions, but I can't force them to do things. I can't force
Hmm.
things to happen the way that I want to. Through the way that I'm showing up, and like you said, with working on a project, something doesn't go well. You know, me before kids, I might have like thrown my wrench. Fuck. But now I can take a
Hmm.
breath. I can get back into my locus of control, and I can have a more impactful influence on what is actually happening rather
Hmm.
than getting angry about it and maybe breaking something and causing more of a problem. So
Uh-huh.
fitness, fitness, man, fitness is so important, especially as we're talking about influence. You know, the influence that we have on our kids will carry not just through their lives but through generations. And fitness is a really important thing. Obviously, you're the founder of Homegrown Lifting. So, how do these things go together for you guys?
The fitness, you know, it is difficult right now for us with multiple kids to get that in. And I will admit, I think in the past year we've probably sacrificed that more than we should. Um my job is very physical, so I do get some through that. And like I said, I've taken up some jujitsu and things of that nature to keep myself physically fit. But one thing we've tried to start doing through the past year, and I even did it this morning with our little daughter. I accidentally woke her up. I woke up at about 5:15 to do a little workout, and we've really tried to have them be a part of those workouts. And I've seen your videos actually
Mhm.
inspired a lot of that through having your kids. You don't have to work out when they're asleep. Sorry, I got something in my throat. You don't have to work out when they're asleep. They probably can't do a plank with you for 20 minutes, but they can pretend they're doing it. And, you know, and it's fun and it's a bonding experience and they love it. And so that, I'm sorry.
Get
Oh,
it taken care of. It's all good.
uh, yeah. But, you know, fitness for us is huge, and owning the company, and um it's a gigantic part of our lives, and it's a blessing to have guys like you out there who are doing a better job than us, who we can look to and see, the example you're setting with your kids and your workouts and your whole family and doing it. And I think that's just so important.
Mm. Yeah, I say it all the time in my posts, and the future is really future is homegrown. Future is you guys, but the future is what you do
Hmm.
within the home. It's not what you do outside of the four walls of your home. It's what you do inside the home. Your kids, the average statistic from I think it was the CDC is that your kids are going to carry forward, whether they like it or not, 80% of your lifestyle habits, and that includes your relationship with exercise and fitness. That includes what you eat, whether you're sitting on the couch or you're up moving around. That include, there's more obese children in the world, overweight children in the world, than there are underweight children in the world right now. That's mind-boggling to me.
Hmm.
The amount of kids that have things like hypertension, high blood pressure, this is an old man's disease, and type 2 diabetes. It's now 20% of children.
Hmm.
Like, it's crazy. And to think that we could just be like, oh, whatever, that's ludicrous to me. The
Hmm.
future is homegrown, and the future is what you're doing with your children. And if you want something bigger in life for them, we got to bring them into it. And like you said, it was hard to
Hmm.
balance it. And yeah, sometimes I get up and I'm training at 4:45 and 5 in the morning. In the summer, when there's a little bit more space and I'm not just locked in this garage, cool, come in here with me, guys. Work out with me. My son's got some of his little WOD toys equipment. We got him a mini bar as well. We throw some of our homegrown plates on it. Like, he rips it. He can deadlift. He's got his two
Awesome.
15-pound plates. He's deadlifting 35, 40 pounds. He's 5 years old. He rocks it. He only does it because he sees dad do
Good
it.
for him.
And like you said, she's not
Yep.
going to do a perfect plank with you. The idea isn't that it's perfect. The idea is like, this is a fun thing that I do with dad. And also, this is just what people do. This is just what I do. My son used to do burpees with
Hmm.
me when I was doing tons of burpees. And he wasn't doing them perfectly, but then randomly throughout the day, he would just do burpees. He would just stop in public. I'm like, I'm going to do five
Nice.
burpees. I'm like, oh, cool, dude. All right, man. Let's
Yeah.
go. This is the influence that we get to have
Good for them.
on them. Yeah. So what have you found recently has been really helpful, and maybe you already said it, for making sure that you're able to prioritize family fitness?
It's hard in the winter. It's very hard in the winter for us. We're in Kentucky where like we get these huge weather swings. So in the summer it's easy. You just go outside and you do stuff. It doesn't have to be lifting weights. Our kids love to, and I put little finger quotes, exercise, which means they just run up and down the street. So we're just holding our breath until we get to the warm weather to where we can do that. In the winter, for me, it's just been, our 4-year-old Maddie doesn't take a nap on. She doesn't take naps anymore, and so when I'm home on Saturdays and Sundays, or when Nicole's home with her during the week, when she's not napping and her siblings are napping, I'll admit we let her watch a movie every now and then just because mommy and daddy need a break. But what I've tried to do is say, Maddie, you gotta watch an hour of Sleeping Beauty, but afterwards you want to do a little exercise with me, and afterwards we'll throw on a little 20-minute full body workout from YouTube, body weight, and we'll do it. And half the time she does it, half the time she doesn't. She sits there, but she watches me do it. And so that's something, you know, you can call it a job, you call it what you want, but just taking that time where we're together, just the other siblings who are a little too young are napping, you know, I'm going to work out in that time regardless. So why not do it with her? Why not do a little something with her where she can see it and have it be a little bit, make it fun, make it not a chore, make it, okay, this is something I get to do with daddy that's cool, and we get to watch this person on the computer do it too. And just so that's something I've been trying to do here recently while we're all stuck indoors during the snow and ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've found similarly that it's so easy in the summer. It's so easy in the summer. Like garage is just open. We can work out anywhere. We can bring our equipment in the driveway, out in the backyard. Can swing my quad mace anywhere and walk up and down the street
Yeah,
with it. In the winter, it's harder. And we're up in Illinois, so it's a
yeah,
little colder than where you're at. But it's partly the cold. There's less sunlight. The motivation is down. It's just like I don't want to. Whereas in the summer, it just comes naturally. I found that if I have some kind of rhythm or schedule, that's so helpful. And then, like you said, my son does really well with bribes. He loves bribes. Does
yeah.
so well with them. So it's
Uh-huh.
like, hey man, why don't you come out to the garage? We'll turn on David, or we'll listen to the David soundtrack. Or what do you want to listen to? Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, dude. So often when I've got them out here, it's like we're gonna listen to the soundtrack for David, which I love it. It's a great movie. Nightmare Before Christmas. I was a Nightmare Before Christmas kid back in my teens. Awesome. And it's like, well, what do you guys want to do out here when we're out here? Cool, let's do that. And sometimes my workouts take twice as long
Hmm.
as they need to. Whatever. I got something
Yeah.
in, and they're learning in the process because they don't learn from what we say, they learn from what we do, and they pick that up.
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you built this business, you're balancing it with family life. Tell us about Homegrown. Tell us about what you're doing.
I mean, for those of listeners who kind of don't know, we're basically a all-in-one, one-stop shop for anything kind of home gym related, revolved around the ways home lifting was born out of bumper plates and making bumper plates here in the U.S. with U.S. materials that are affordable, that are good quality, and you can, you know, buy and use for years to come. So right now, Homegrown is just clamping down and trying to make as much stuff as we can. Like I said, we work 3 shifts. We basically don't stop. Um, so, we don't. There's not some flashy new release that we're doing or anything. We're just here in Kentucky, and we're making bumper plates as fast as we can. We found there's a lot of people out there who just really appreciate cheap, wrong word, because that implies cheap quality, but who appreciate reasonably priced, quality made stuff um, that they can just take and tear up at home. So there's I wish there was a cooler answer, but that's basically what we're doing, is just making that stuff, affecting our craft, and working on it as best we can.
I love it because during COVID, all the people that I run with, we all started to put together our own home gym equipment. but it was either like Rogue, which
Mhm.
Rogue is great, but really it's an investment. Or you're looking around at like Walmart and what's the cheapest stuff from China that I can find. And so I love homegrown because one, it's American made, and two, it's really reasonable, and this stuff's high quality. Like I beat the shit out of my equipment. We beat it up, and it's
Mhm.
great. So, what would you say to someone who is interested in beginning to build out their home gym? What would you recommend as like the basics and the starting point for somebody?
If it was me and I was going to set a home gym up, I'd go. I mean, you can't go wrong with a barbell, pair of 45s, pair of 25s, pair of 10s, which is 60 pounds of weight. Um, so a barbell, I'd probably throw an extra pair of 45s in there just so you can get a little heavier, but you don't need to go with a huge squat rack or anything like that. Barbell, some free weights. I'm a big kettlebell guy. I love kettlebells. And you can get all that for under $500 easy. I mean, let's see, so let's say you want 350 pounds of weight, a barbell, and a 35-pound kettlebell. That's where I would start, and you should be able to do 99% of all movements that you need to do with just that. If you want to do some back squats, great. Learn how to get a barbell on your back from the ground, and you're going to get stronger in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you have the financial means to do it and you want to buy the racks and the flooring and the storage and the benches, that's cream on top. But just get your barbell, get yourself some weights, get yourself a kettlebell, and between that and just some body weight stuff, you should be able to kick it for a long time before you need anything else to
Yeah.
supplement with.
Yeah, how much would that run us? Like basic pack like that?
200, so dollar a pound. We dollar a pound would be a 260-pound set, which the pair of everything is 260. I think our barbells right now are around like 140, 150, so that's 400. Kettlebells are also about $1 a pound, maybe a hair more. So let's say you get a 50-pound kettlebell, you're looking at 450. Shipping to wherever you're going to could be 50, $100. So you're looking right there at the $500 mark.
That's crazy.
If you want to nix the kettlebell to get stuff a little bit cheaper, if you want to nix some of the weights, there's plenty of things you can do, but you can get a really, really solid setup for under $500.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really inexpensive. $500 is, in the scheme of things, it's changed because it's something that you're gonna have forever. If you're paying $15 a month for a gym membership, that's $180 a year. That's that's like three years worth of gym membership that you're not paying anymore. You don't have to travel back and forth anymore, and you're not losing time with your family anymore. Everything's there, and then at the same time, that's that's everything that you can. There's so much that you can give to your family. That's all of the benefits of working out with them seeing you working out, them learning this new habit, learning to prioritize exercise and fitness. Now, if you're by me, and people are going to a Lifetime Fitness where they got childcare and all of that stuff, you're spending at least $100 a month, what goes up every single every single year. That's $1,200 a year. You could get the basics and then some. You could get your bench, you could get your squat rack, and all of that
I'm sorry about
for
that.
all goodwill. I was just doing the math, and you pay $15 a month at a Planet Fitness, or maybe they're $10 a month, but you pay $15 a month somewhere. That's 180 a year. That's like 3 years worth of gym dues. But more than that,
Oh yeah.
what you get back is all the time commuting back and forth, all the time that you're wasting in the locker room, all the time that you're not getting in the presence of your wife and your kids and all the lessons that they learn in the gym doing planks and burpees and silly stuff with you. But if you're by me and you're going somewhere like a Lifetime that's got childcare and that's got a restaurant in it and it's got pool and swim lessons and all that stuff, you're paying at least $100 a month, if not
Oh,
150 or
easy.
more, and that's $1,200 a year. And you can get those basics for half of that, and then you can add on a squat rack, you can add on a bench. But it's not about the money at that point because you're getting so much time back at home with your wife, with your kids.
Mhm.
And they're getting dad's presence and the lessons that you learn in those little moments, just playing with dad when he's in the gym or playing in the drive-by while he's working out or working out together. There's so much there.
100. I mean, you can make a financial argument, and it's super easy for look at just the pure cost of a gym membership versus the pure cost of a home gym. Like, it's cut and dry, but the real value is in that time savings and that flexibility and that ability to just control your own being, control your own self, control your own time, and invest it how you see fit. And if one day that means investing 2 hours in your home gym and getting a great workout, great. And another day it's investing 10 minutes and 50 push-ups on your floor, that's great. But that that is the real value of the home gym, is just control your time, take back that control, invest it as you see fit. Um, and financially, it makes sense.
It really does. It really does. It's so worth that investment. I can't say it enough. There is no way that I would be able to continue working out and run my business and be at home with the kids. If Lifetime, it's an 8-minute walk for me. I could walk down the block to it, and they've got everything. There's no way I'd be
Hmm.
able to do all of this if I didn't have this here. There's just no way, and
Yeah,
it's so easily
I was
accessible right there.
I was a huge CrossFit guy before we had kids, and we have a CrossFit gym. I can hit it with a baseball from my house. And since we had our second, I've been there a grand total of one time to do Murph. Even though I would love to go back, but it's just you can't find the time to go over there because it's a rigid schedule, and it's that's not a knock on CrossFit, but for fathers and for parents, it's a rigid schedule of an hour at this time, and there's a lot of time. I can't tell my wife, "Oh, hey, by the way, I got a CrossFit class at 6." If the kids wake up, you just deal with it. I mean, I could, but that's not how we want our relationship to look, and that's not what we've agreed upon. And so it's so nice to be able to, like this morning, wake up at 5. Well, I accidentally woke up our kid, Maddie, our little daughter. Okay, well, I'm still working out at home. Come on, come watch me work out, pet our dogs, and let's have fun. So it's really, really nice, and a huge blessing to have.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that either my son or my daughter has woken up between 4:30 and 6, and I've been like, "Well, just come out here with me. Just come out here. I got the heat on.
Hmm.
I'll turn on the big red Juve light. You sit in front of that. What do you want? You nap on the floor? We can do whatever." And I wouldn't
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to do that. And to your point about like how the heck, and I know that there's guys that do it, but how the heck do you give your wife the opportunity to go to the gym? Like, how do you guys work out that
Hmm.
schedule and still get everything else done and then still get like actual FaceTime with your kids if you have to work trade shifts to get to the local gym? There are people that
Yeah.
do it.
And by all means, that's not a knock on those people. If you can do it, more power to you. That's awesome, and you're setting a great example in your own way. But just for me personally, I just we couldn't make it work. And so, yeah, that's not, like I said, I don't want it to seem like we're knocking people or saying anybody who's going to the gym is a bad parent. You're a great parent. Um, but just for me, it's so nice to be able to do it at home.
Yeah, I'm not knocking on you. You have more bandwidth than I do. You have more bandwidth than I do. I couldn't balance it for sure. So if that is you guys,
Yes.
write into the show. Tell me how the heck are you doing it and still giving everything that you want to. to work, to your family and your fitness. And if you got a spiritual practice to that as well, we want to know. Outside of that, Will, anything else that we didn't cover that you want to make sure that people know today?
No, I mean, what I would say from our end is if there's anything Homegrown Lifting can do to help you, if you're wanting to start a gym or a home gym, if you're on the fence about anything, we're a small business. Our job is to answer your questions. If you need help, if you want us, that's what we're here for. So give us a call. If it's simply to just say, hey, tell me more about your stuff, or hey, I don't know what I should start with, or anything, we're here to help, and we love helping people. And then on top of that, if you're a parent or a dad or a mother or whatever you are, and you're wanting to start that fitness journey, we're here to support you, and we're here to help you, and we're here to make sure that you can do that.
How do we find you guys?
We've got a website, homegrownlifting.com. Go there. It should have all our contact stuff on it, our phone number, our email, and you can either give us a call. Sometimes we aren't great on the phone. We've got myself and Justin answering it, but we're always out putting out fires. So if you can't get a hold of us on the phone, just shoot us an email, info at homegrownlifting.com. We'll respond normally within 30 minutes. Sometimes it might take us a few hours, but we strive to respond to every single person who reaches out to us. So if you need anything, reach out. We'll try to help you out and get you what you need.
You can find them on Instagram too. Is that Homegrown Lifting?
I believe so. I'm not the social media guru, so it's either Homegrown Lifting or Homegrown Lifting. So, but if you search Homegrown Lifting, I'm sure we'll pop up.
Yep, I'll put it in the show notes for everybody, and everything that you need is on there. I tag him in my stories all the time too, so you can just hang out and find him that way. Outside of that, any parting piece of advice that you would give to any guy that's listening to this?
Just keep your head down and keep grinding. And I know that sometimes it seems like there's not a lot happening, and like, what's the point? But one thing I like to always remind myself is if I can just again, it's cliche, but if I can just get 0.5% better today, that's all I need. 0.5. I'll be by this time next year, I'll be 150% better than I was this year. So if all I need to do is get 0.2% or just some little tiny bit better, that's just let it compound upon itself. That's all you need to do, and you'll be fine.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep doing it.
All right, brother. Well, that brings us to completion here. Thanks for being here, man.
Awesome. Well,
and if you guys,
thank you for taking the time.
Yes. If you guys got anything for us, you've got Will's contact info. You got any questions, just email me, rob@robbailjr.com. You can hit me up on Instagram. You want help, just send me a message. I'm here. I'm here for you. That's it, guys. Thanks for being here, and have an uncommon day.